Welcome. My name is Raul Melendez, and this is MPA 580 Legal and Ethical Issues in Public Sector. In this presentation, I will discuss an ethical dilemma related to whistleblowing in public healthcare administration based on my experience working with the Medi-Cal population. I will begin with the ethical dilemma and the key stakeholders involved. I will then discuss my duty and obligation as a public administrator. Next, I will apply ethical frameworks to analyze the situation. And lastly, I will conclude with presenting an ethical decision along with justification for the course of action taken. In my role as a health navigator, I work directly with Medi-Cal populations and see firsthand the challenges individuals face when navigating complex healthcare systems. These challenges often include delays in care, documentation issues, and gaps in service delivery. In this scenario, if a healthcare professional observes inadequate care being provided and must decide whether to report the issue, knowing there may be retaliation or professional consequences. The key stakeholders include the patients, the organization, the employees, and the broader public that relies on accountability in public systems. This creates a conflict between organizational loyalty and the ethical responsibility to protect vulnerable populations. From a duty and obligations perspective, public administrators have a responsibility to act in the best interest for the public while maintaining integrity and accountability. As outlined by Zvara 2015, ethical decision making requires recognizing these responsibilities and acting on them. From a duty based perspective, this aligns with Kant's framework, which emphasizes that ethical actions are based on obligation rather than consequences. In this situation, remaining silent would allow harm to continue and undermine public trust. Therefore, ethical responsibility is to report the issue through appropriate channels and even when doing so involves personal or professional risk. Applying ethical frameworks to this scenario, each approach supports taking action in response to the inadequate care being observed. From a duty based perspective, the responsibility to report the issue is clear, as emphasized by Kant. In this situation, the healthcare professional has an ethical obligation to act even if there is a risk of retaliation. The duty to protect patients take priority over personal or organizational consequences. From a utilitarian perspective, reporting the issue helps prevent further harm to patients and improve overall outcomes within the healthcare system. This aligns with Mill's framework, which focuses on maximizing benefits and reducing harm for the greatest number of people, particularly in the systems serving high need population. From a justice based perspective, this situation involves protecting vulnerable Medi-Cal population who rely on public healthcare services. As outlined by Raoul's ethical decisions should promote fairness and ensure that disadvantaged groups are not disproportionately impacted by system failures. Across these frameworks, the analysis consistently supports taking action rather than remaining silent. Based on this analysis, the most ethical decision is to report the misconduct through appropriate internal or external channels. This decision helps protect patients, support accountability, and aligns with the responsibilities of public service. Although whistleblowing may involve risks such as retaliation, the greater responsibility is to the individuals and communities being served. Ultimately, ethical leadership requires doing what is right even when it involves difficult decisions. Here are the references utilized for this presentation. Thank you so much for watching.